Fulu come to you guys with another video, another commentary. So in light of the video that I just did, a commentary I just did on the Belejo woman who was actually mad at guys exercising their options for foreign women, let me kind of show you why guys exercise their options for foreign women. You know, this Ramadan, I really don't know what sparked. To be honest, I can't even remember. I can't really remember what sparked the all of a sudden, I guess you can say the all of a sudden like appeal to Islam in the Caucasus. You know, most of the time I'm like covering traditional Islam in Africa, right? But for some reason, whatever reason may be, my attention shifted to Islam in the, well, I won't say shifted, but my attention was divided into like Islam in the Caucasus area. And I think maybe it had to do with the fact that them Muslim Chechens were whooping them Nazi, or I should say are whooping them Nazi Ukrainians butts. But anyhow, I read one book on Imam Shamil, Rahmatullah alayhi, and I have since ordered 2 more books on him. And I just started researching, like, I'm like, yo, man, why is Khabib like how he is? Like, why is he built like this? Why is that guy Islam in MMA built like that? Why is this guy who just won last night built like that? Like, what is it about these people, man? So, upon doing more further investigation, I got my answer. And we're going to look at the answers right now. The first thing I want to do, and believe it or not, it's crazy that they actually call these people, they actually call them the Negroes of this region. You know, the Russians actually say that about them. It's crazy to say this, but let me just find out why I'm into, like, why my appeal for them just grew and grew. Now here is a Dagestani man, and look at what he did.
И, друзья, ассаламу алейкум, вот вам дагестанский лайфхак. Это моя жена. Чего ты хотела?
Я хотела больше времени проводить с подругой.
Правильно. Я решил твою проблему.
Решил.
Знакомьтесь, это моя вторая жена Сакинат. Подруга ее.
Жалил, я не это делала.
So, in a traditional society like this, a woman will accept polygamy. Like, a woman will accept this, okay? Like, he just said, shh. She accepted it because I guarantee you, unlike Pookie and Ray Ray of the conscious community, he's providing for them both. Look at how well she looks. Look at how well kept both of his wives are, as compared to like a Nature Boy or a young Pharaoh, or even a Brother Polite. I'm no disrespect, but Brother Polite's wives do not look cared for like these women do. I'm just being real with you. But let's continue. Let's look at how she looks.
Я хотела больше времени проводить с подругой.
Правильно. Я решил твою проблему.
Решил.
Знакомьтесь, это моя вторая жена Сакинат. Подруга ее.
Жалил, я не это делала.
Сакинат, добро пожаловать в семью. Ассаламу алейкум. И, друзья...
That is a life hack. You know what I mean? As I said myself, like, and they're gonna get mad at this, especially people. You know, if like, let's say I become a millionaire, you know, then chances are I will exercise polygamy. You know, there's a high probability that I will do that. Um, it must be said that, for example, one of the great sages by the name of Abdul Qadir Jilani, rahmatullah alayh, you know, I'm not saying I'm gonna do this. I'm not saying that, but when he hit like 40 years old, I think he married 4 wives. I think, yeah, he had 4 wives and he had like a lot of kids. You know, he had a lot of kids. But let's look at this gentleman again.
Просто посмотрите, что происходит. Чем так пахнет? Так, я, кажется, знаю, чем пахнет. Пахнет третьей женой.
So he was even saying that he was saying, now I don't know if this is a skit or not, but it seems pretty real. And he said a third wife is on the way. Traditional society. This is the type of things that us, especially us African men, we have to like go back to this. We gotta go back to this no matter what these modern Belejo, Tubac, Latin, or Asian women say. Or even, unfortunately, the case some of these which we will call it too, unfortunately, some of these Muslims is especially them, unfortunately, who have adopted who've forgotten the way, you know.
Я, кажется, знаю, чем пахнет. Пахнет третьей женой.
He's like, what's that smell? It smells like a third wife is on the way. And mind you, this brother is from that Caucasus region, Dagestan. But let's look at another reason why that, like, maybe we want submissive women, traditional women. Let's look at village life in Dagestan. Let's look at village life in Dagestan.
The entire Calgary community is all in on technology and innovation.
We are building an ecosystem. We are.
So you see the woman with the cow. Not complaining either. Not complaining. Milking her cow. Fully covered, dressed and modest too. On top of that. And you know what's the sad thing? Modern women would laugh at her. They would laugh at her. So, you know, the young daughter is learning her role as a woman as well, you know. Now, granted, this is in a village, but I'm pretty sure that even when a village woman goes to school or something like that, or enters an urban setting, she's not going to forget these skills. You know what I mean? These skills are going to be with her. And no complaining. You know, you see that you see how young she is, and she's not even complaining. You know, ask a modern woman to wash a dish and see what happens. Ask her to wash dishes, see what happens. Guess what she's gonna say? Can we hire a maid? That's what she's gonna say. Well, let's continue. She made the milk, pouring out the milk that she made. Probably making some bread. No pumpkin. And you see how she's laughing still? Happy in her element while the husband's working. Holding the child, catering to, like, can you really? You can genuinely tell that she's happy with her kid, versus a modern Western woman who basically used her kid as a whatchamacallit, as a what's a good word for it? As leverage, and for monetary benefit, unfortunately. But you can generally tell she's happy with her kid, man. The mom's there, taken care of. I think there was a guy in the background. I don't know. He's probably a family relative, but you hear him. Making like beans and stuff like that. Throwing it down. Natural element. So chances are that that meal was probably for her husband after he's done working. But let's look at how these Chechens are, man. Honestly, now, you know, now it's like, because I've already like made myself honorary Cuban, honorary Haitian. Right? Now I have to add to this because of how different these people are built. And I have to make myself honorary Chechen Dagestani as well. You know, despite them having like very vast different pigmentation than I do. But now I have to like now include them to the list of this, you know. But let's see why.
Google Career Certificates provide online training for in-demand jobs. Train for jobs in IT support. Not only the language here differs from the rest of Russia, the Chechens also have a completely different culture. In any aspect of their life, for example, they must abide the code of honor, Nokhchala. According to Nokhchala, they must be benevolent, hospitable, and respectful of others, especially.
It sounds like Pulaku. It kind of sounds like Pulaku, guys. But most people on the channel won't, well, especially modern women, they won't have a clue of what Pulaku is. And especially these quote unquote full bay claimers who claim that, oh, you know, their DNA test full bay, and they don't know what Pulaku is. But this code sounds very similar to Pulaku.
Especially the elders and women. While I was in Chechnya, I met a friend with a local Chechen guy, and he explained me about their code of honor and life of the Chechens.
So let's look at this.
Пункты, которые я нашла в интернете. Там было написано о том, как должны себя вести чеченцы и как ты должен себя вести, когда приезжаешь в Чечню, и ты прокомментируешь, правда или нет.
Хорошо.
Так, первое. Девушка не должна встречаться с парнем наедине. Свидание может происходить только в присутствии родственников.
Правда.
Только в присутствии родственников? Реально?
Да, правда.
So the thing is that like here, in you can only like meet a girl when she's like basically chaperoned, and that goes back to the Islamic system too. Like you're supposed to meet a girl in like she's gonna be chaperoned by a relative. And, you know, of course, like by having this, it prevents things from what we see right now. Because, I mean, we have to like, we kind of have to like connect the dots. And we kind of connect the dots with Tinder, Meetup, Hookup, Accidental Baby, guy who doesn't want accidental baby, mother who's mad that guy didn't want accidental baby, child supports accidental baby, brings accidental baby into a world very mad and very upset that part of him was not wanted. So in essence, to prevent these problems in their society, that's why they have the chaperone on the date.
Имеется в виду родственников, это имеется в виду двоюродный брат, двоюродная сестра, например, если девушка.
То есть парень с девушкой не могут
Нет,
на свидание?
нет.
Обалдеть.
Обязательно кто-то должен быть, как там указано.
So this is a westernized Western woman. She said, which we call it get in the way. She said relatives get in the way. Well, the thing is that with these Chechens, they're vetting who the potential spouse is. Because that's what they're doing. They're going on a date with the intention to marry. You know, they're not just aimlessly dating. There's a culture here that like, we need to get our girls married. Right? Versus modern Western woman culture. Let's continue. And these are good customs and traditions. We had similar customs and traditions too. Because like honestly, and I'll bring it up. I'm gonna try to find it. I think it may be on here. I think it may be on this. I need to check.
Ладно, второе. Девушка у чеченцев неприкосновенна, то есть нельзя
The Chechen girl is untouchable, which
дотрагиваться до девушки никому из посторонних.
Конечно.
he said it's 100% true. He says it's 100% true. And I've seen proof of this in France, that when a dude did date, like when a dude did touch a Chechen girl, like that dude's face was rearranged by them. They don't play. And I can respect that. That's protecting a woman. You know what I mean? That's protecting a woman. But according to like modern Belejo woman, protecting like a black woman is basically getting put in jail for protecting her, or losing a big bag like Will Smith did. Will Smith lost so many bags, it's not even funny. He lost a Bad Boys bag. I think he lost a Netflix bag. He lost the Academy's bag. Well, let's continue on.
100%, безусловно. Даже не обсуждается. Правда.
Муж и жена не должны разговаривать при родственниках и показывать любые другие знаки любви.
Тоже правда.
Даже разговаривать?
Даже если, например, там в комнате, если, например, друзья мужа пришли, то есть жена за стол не садится. Она просто придет, чай, то что.
So, like, basically, and that's smart too. Like, the thing is, they don't think about things like in an obvious, like in a different mindset that I have. And I'm not saying I'm better. I'm just saying that I'm more receptive to customs that make sense to me. They may not make sense to other people, especially Western Belejo women or Tubak women. But if I'm over with my guys, like and we're like plotting or something, like let's say I got a couple of guys over and we're plotting on like, okay, we want to do this. Okay, we want to buy this. Okay, we want to generate this. Okay, we want to learn about this. Like if I'm in that circle and my wife is there, then she may throw off the cadence of that circle. So it would be better for her to just bring us some food and like bring us like maybe some refreshments, like some tea or something while we talk. And then I'll get at her later. I'll show my appreciation for her later. Once the guys leave. It makes perfect sense.
Надо на стол положит и уходит руку.
Нельзя сидеть в присутствии старших.
Да, это обязательно должен встать, если в комнату зашел старший.
Да, ты уже говорил.
Да.
Курить нельзя при старших.
Да, тоже верно. Даже если твои родители, например, знают о том, что куришь, но ты перед ними нельзя вообще.
Кстати, а здесь девушкам нельзя курить, да?
Вообще категорически, конечно.
And so girls aren't allowed to smoke or do alcohol in Chechnya. Yeah, I mean, granted, Chechnya is mostly a Muslim country, so you're not supposed to be doing it anyway. But these people are very traditional people, and I can appreciate this. I can very much appreciate their traditions. And I guess we're gonna have to make pilgrimage to there as well. The thing about me is, unfortunately, everything that the United States is for, like in terms of when it comes to war and stuff like that, I'm pretty much gonna always play the opposite side. And when I saw the videos of the Chechens whooping Ukrainians, neo-Nazis, I was kind of compelled and happy. Especially the simple fact that they were. Now, if they were Muslim, I probably wouldn't care. But the fact that they're Muslim is probably what compels me to, have a concern.
Без разницы, что ни алкоголя, ни курить, ничего.
Мужчина должен идти впереди женщины, как бы расчищая ей дорогу.
Ну да, в основном впереди должен быть мужчина во всем, в принципе. В семье.
He said men should be ahead in everything. And that makes sense too. Like, I mean, it kind of would make sense for a man to walk kind of ahead of this woman so he can like see any foreseen danger or anything like that. Like, that would kind of make a little bit of sense. Or not even like, maybe you don't even want to walk fully ahead. Maybe you want to walk at an angle, which she is like, where she's like, where she's in your view and you're in her view, too, while still being a little bit ahead of her.
Не рядом идут, он впереди.
Ну да. Ну, такого нету, чтобы там за ручки они шли. Вот этого нет. Это по обычаю
То есть
нельзя.
здесь
Просто
на улицах
рядом.
никто за руку не будет тащить?
Нет, конечно, ты чё, это не...
So, another thing too is like, you can't really hold hands in the streets, like if you're a couple. And I mean, I haven't really seen Muslim. Well, actually, I have seen Muslims hold hands here when they're a couple. I actually have seen it. I take it back, you know. But I mean, I can see why you wouldn't hold hands, you know. That creates jealousy, by the way, you know.
Это такое нет.
Блин, тут вообще все другое. Женившийся парень не должен несколько дней попадаться на глаза своим родителям.
Тоже есть такое.
Почему?
Ну, потому что это стыдно, как бы это некрасиво, как бы пока. Вот.
Девушка, вышедшая замуж, не должна показываться мужской части своих близких родственников до тех пор, пока отец, брат сами ее не позовут или сами не зайдут в то помещение, в котором она находится.
Да, тоже верно. Пока
Стыдно,
он не
да?
представит, да. Она сама не может там говорить.
Беременная женщина не должна попадаться на глаза своим родственникам-мужчинам.
Ну, тоже верно. Тоже правда.
Ничего, на 9 месяцев от всех скрывать.
Не, ну, не в буквальном смысле, конечно, как бы, но в основном, да, есть такое, как бы.
Дальше. В общественном транспорте мужчина должен уступать сидячее место любому лицу женского пола вне зависимости от возраста. То есть даже старики уступят место юным девушкам.
Да, есть такое, как бы, стыдно.
Yeah, so like this one is pretty telling that, like, you know, like no matter what, a old man would have to give up his seat for a young girl. Like if they're riding the bus or something like that, like they would still have to give up their seat. You know, they couldn't like not have their seat giving up. Like they would have to give up their seat for the young lady. You know, this is very and this unfortunately though, like what they're the things that they're exhibiting, this would be seen as being too nice, and this would be seen as like being you know, too much of a gentleman. You know, like, believe it or not, a Western woman wouldn't want this, you know. She wouldn't want this behavior, treatment.
Как бы ты сидишь, даже если взрослый, ну, без разницы, девушка, например, стоит, ты обязательно должен, встать, чтобы она села.
Отец не должен при дочери ходить в майке без рукавов, брат не должен при сестре, матери, отце.
Конечно, это категорически, это нельзя такое.
Еще про свидание. Девушке при свидании с парнем ни в коем случае нельзя смотреть ему в глаза. Необходимо смотреть в сторону, либо опустить взгляд. Нельзя много разговаривать.
Ну да, это она как бы выражает свою скорость.
Yeah, I mean, I actually like that. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know how to put this, and it may sound arrogant, and I'm not trying to sound arrogant. But as I examine and did like do inner examination of myself during Ramadan, I'm one of those rare. I'm like a combination of basically traditional West African Islam, radical like politics, like radical third world politics, which include um like liberation struggles, USSR, while still having the street smarts that come with being in South Central Los Angeles for a series of time. I've kind of like meshed it together. But Islam is the root. Like the traditional African Islam is the root. That is the thing, the foundation that holds it all together. And so for me, a woman who looks down, like say for what, like let's just say a woman you pass by a woman, right? She locks eyes with you, but then she looks down. That woman is like basically kind of like submitting, like showing that she can be submissive to you. And so I do kind of notice that, like, a modest woman, when she's like into you, like she's gonna like carry herself in a certain way because she's modest. You know what I mean? She's not really out there, like versus a modern Western woman who will just stare at you anytime she gets, like who has no modesty, who will lock eyes with you anytime she gets a chance, and you're like, man, what is she looking at? Like, what the heck she looking at? Staring, something like that. Like, that's rude. And you want to tell her, like, yo, don't you know, like, staring is rude? Like, what are you doing? You know? They'll never tell you, though, they'll never come up to you and just say, hey, you know, like, I'm digging you. Because the modesty is gone. So you kind of have to, like, just understand that even though, like, they may like you, they're not gonna like really tell you that, because they know they can't get you. You know, if you have a certain energy. And I already know my energy screams, stay the heck away from me, you Jezebel. Like, my energy just screams that by default.
Значит, как бы.
Здесь вообще другие свидания, я смотрю.
Ну,
То есть,
да.
подожди, они там не целуются?
Не, это
держатся за руки,
категорически
вообще
нет.
ничего?
Точно нет, конечно, это все. Это нельзя категорически.
So they don't even kiss on dates. So I understand why, you know, like, you're trying to get married. Like, that's the thing. Like, again, they, like, you know, unfortunately, the mistake that these, like, for example, I think her name is Kendra G. Like, she be having IG lives trying to matchmake, and I'm like, yo, this woman needs to stop. This woman needs to stop. She's not doing nobody no good. But anyhow, what I noticed is that, like, so many of these dating, quote unquote, dating gurus, they'll have things like dating with a purpose and all these kind of like nuances and stuff like that. But, like, this is like dating with a purpose. These people are trying to get married. That's the thing. They are trying to get married.
они могут
У нас
узнать
нету
друг друга,
такого.
полюбить друг друга?
She asked, how could they know each other? How can they fall in love with each other? Now, keep in mind, I understand she's speaking from a Western standpoint.
Ну, когда уже поженятся, тогда узнают. Только так.
And he said when they get married already, that's how they get to know each other. And I've been in the same vein, like me. Like, listen, I feel the same way. Like, I don't need to like date you to marry you. I just need to sit down. Your family needs to vet me. Your family needs to just keep everything transparent. And then that's how we get to know each other in marriage. Because, like, honestly, when you date and you're getting she's getting her back blown out, then part of the marriage is already like, part of the excitement of marriage is already dead already. And so, in my past, I've had like a friend of mine. Shout out to him. But I guess because he sees how I carry myself, he was vetting me the whole time for his sister. He's like, I have my sister here. You can marry her. I said, yeah, maybe so. Maybe we can make it happen, but I never did like decide to make it happen. I was thinking about vetting her, but I never made it happen. But here was and may Allah reward him for offering me that option. May Allah reward him abundantly. But yeah, he's talking about marriage and stuff like that. I mean, can someone in my comment section actually name me like a time where a Bumble date resulted in a marriage or a Tinder date resulted in let me rephrase that, in a successful marriage?
Они могут узнать.
Так, нельзя в присутствии своих родственников и вообще взрослых мужчин со стороны мужа брать детей на руки, ласкать их, даже ругать.
То же самое, да, все верно. Ну, это все входит, как тебе объяснил, в обычаи, в традиции это входит как бы.
В общем, здесь вообще абсолютно все отличается от остальной части России. Даже не верится, что это одна страна.
Да, это единственная, мне кажется, страна, где сохранились обычаи и традиции более лучше, чем в других как бы.
И чеченцы очень гордятся же своими традициями, да?
Ну да, это же наоборот, конечно, это же естественно. И все благодаря, опять-таки.
So, so like they said, they're proud of their traditions and stuff like that. And keep in mind, this is part of Russia. This is part of Russia. But the fact that these people are built so different, I can really appreciate it. I can really appreciate this, like that these guys are built so different. If you visit my Siasi Instagram, I actually made a little compilation of the Chechen troops. And the thing is about the Chechen troops versus United States Marines, you can tell that all of them are alphas. United States Marine, you can't really tell. The thing is, what separates these Chechens from, like, let's say, like, United States Yankee troops is, like, number one, they're going to be bearded. Number two, they're going to be front line and they're going to be composed. Number three, usually after combat, they don't commit suicide, or they don't take their aggression out on their family like Mr. American Sniper did, or like many of many others that they don't tell you that come back from Afghanistan messed up, that they do some crazy things like kill themselves or like do something like that.
Повторюсь, Рамзан Ахматович Кадырову, нашему президенту, вот это вот все, вот эта безопасность, чистота в городе, порядок,
Его
как бы.
портрет, да, по всему городу?
Да, вот. То, что многим очень помогает, действительно, многим помог и до сих пор помогает, как бы. Мы много чего сделали республике, на самом деле, очень многое. Даже посмотрите, вот как выстрелились быстро, Грозно выстрелился, и какие руины были, за какой срок выстрелился.
На самом деле, мне кажется, что Грозный сейчас это один из самых развитых городов вообще в целом на Кавказе.
Благодаря Рамзану Ахматовичу Кадырову все вот это вот.
Yeah, so I mean, they now when we talk about Chechnya and Dagestan and Crimea, like these places had wars. These places had long-term war, yet they were able to like recover, you know. So with that being said, it's like it's good. It's good. Productive society.
Чистота, порядок, безопасность, вот это вот.
Так что приезжайте в Чечню,
Приезжайте.
со всеми этими традициями.
Мы только рады гостям, вы знаете.
Inshallah, that's the plan. Inshallah.
Гостеприимство у нас это на высшем уровне, как бы на первом месте, можно сказать, как бы.
Ладно, продолжим пить чай.
Да.
Well,
So, as you see, the traditions are strong in Chechnya and Dagestan, and this is why we want traditional women. You know, like I mean, this is just the bottom line. Like, believe it or not, like a traditional man is for a traditional woman. Like a traditional man is not for a modern woman. That's just natural order. You know, natural order has a way of organizing that. So maybe it is because of my traditional values that I'm drawn towards other traditional systems. But before I leave, let me see if I can find it. You know. Let me see. Okay, here we go.
On the shore of the Sahara Desert.
Let me see.
So they use butter to condition their hair and smooth their braids with flame.
So the clip you see are some Fulbe Rube. Yeah, Rube Fulbe. Lady Mali. Okay? And I think it goes back to the traditions because I think it's going to be subtitled what they're going to talk about. Let me see real quick.
For centuries, this massive inland delta has their hair and smooth their braids with flame. Precious family heirlooms are painstakingly woven in, but the men may not return home for a week or more. And for 14-year-old Isa Bar, the time can't pass quickly enough.
I got a boyfriend. He's in the bush. Now keep in mind though, her boyfriend is basically gonna be her husband. You know, her family knows him. The other family knows her. So this is how it works. And that's that Fulani-ism. Very nice, but very serious. You know, for me, I'll say that, you know, I try to carry myself respectful, courteous, but I do carry like a more stoic disposition, I should say. He's a great cattle herder. They like that. So, you know, that's her boyfriend, but but when we talk about that, you see the village and the community, you know, they're gonna get married. Like that's the end all be all goal. You know, they're gonna get married. But anyhow, man, that's all I gotta say for now. I'll do one more. You know, it's about to be time to break the fast. I will do one more thing, and it's probably gonna rub a lot of females the wrong way. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure I've rubbed like more than 1 million females the wrong way by now. You know, but anyhow, man, Foolish Sunny out. Leave your thoughts. Anjarama.